I saw Esau sawing wood, and Esau I saw him. Though Esau I saw him saw, still Esau went on soaring.
Welcome to Noonday Nonsense All Request Friday. This is my assistant, the minor poet, T.S. Elephant. So let's get on with the requests. Marta in Leeds is an American by birth, I believe, and she requested something by Shel Silverstein. Now, Shel Silverstein, little known on this side of the Atlantic, I think, but a great writer for children. It's well worth looking up his story, The Giving Tree, which is a lovely illustrated book for children. But this is a poem he wrote, particularly beloved of Martha. Ickle me, pickle me, tickle me too, went for a ride in a flying shoe. Hooray! What fun! It's time we flew, said Ickle me, pickle me, tickle me too. Ickle was captain, and Pickle was crew, and Tickle and Mulligan stew, as higher and higher and higher they flew. Ickle me, pickle me, tickle me too. Ickle me, pickle me, tickle me too, over the sun and beyond the blue. Hold on, stay in, I hope we do, cried Ickle me, pickle me, tickle me too. Ickle me, pickle me, tickle me too, never returned to the world they knew, and nobody knows what's happened to dear Ickle me, pickle me, tickle me too. That's called Ickle me, pickle me, tickle me too by Shel Silverstein. Look him up, he's a funny looking man. Anyway, next up is a stone cold classic nonsense poem by Lewis Carroll, and it's been requested by Nancy in Southport, who is in fact my mum. The sun was shining on the sea, shining with all his might. He did his very best to make the billows smooth and bright, and this was odd, because it was the middle of the night. The moon was shining sulkily, because she thought the sun had got no business to be there after the day was done. It's very rude of him, she said, to come and spoil the fun. The sea was wet as wet could be. The sands were dry as dry. You could not see a cloud because no cloud was in the sky. No birds were flying overhead. There were no birds to fly. The walrus and the carpenter were walking close at hand. They wept like anything to see such quantities of sand. If this were only cleared away, they said, it would be grand. If 7 maids with 7 mops swept it for half a year, do you suppose, the walrus said, that they could get it clear? I doubt it, said the carpenter, and shed a bitter tear. Oh, oysters, come and walk with us, the walrus did beseech. A pleasant walk, a pleasant talk along the briny beach. We cannot do with more than 4 to give a hand to each. The eldest oyster looked at him, but never a word he said. The eldest oyster winked his eye and shook his heavy head, meaning to say he did not choose to leave the oyster bed. But 4 young oysters hurried up, all eager for the treat. Their coats were brushed, their faces washed, their shoes were clean and neat, and this was odd, because, you know, they hadn't any feet. 4 other oysters followed them, and yet another 4, and thick and fast they came at last, and more, and more, and more, all hopping through the frothy waves and scrambling for the shore. The walrus and the carpenter walked on a mile or so, and then they rested on a rock conveniently low, and all the little oysters stood and waited in a row. The time has come, the walrus said, to talk of many things, of shoes and ships and sealing wax, of cabbages and kings, and why the sea is boiling hot, and whether pigs have wings. But wait a bit, the oysters cried, before we have our chat, for some of us are out of breath, and all of us are fat. No hurry, said the carpenter. They thanked him much for that. A loaf of bread, the walrus said, is what we chiefly need. Pepper and vinegar besides are very good indeed. Now, if you're ready, oysters dear, we can begin to feed. But not on us, the oysters cried, turning a little blue. After such kindness, that would be a dismal thing to do. The night is fine, the walrus said. Do you admire the view? It was so kind of you to come, and you are very nice. The carpenter said nothing but, cut us another slice. I wish you were not quite so deaf. I've had to ask you twice. It seems a shame, the walrus said, to play them such a trick after we brought them out so far and made them trot so quick. The carpenter said nothing but, the butter's spread too thick. I weep for you, the walrus said. I deeply sympathize. With sobs and tears he sorted out those of the largest size, holding his pocket handkerchief before his streaming eyes. Oh, oysters, said the carpenter, you've had a pleasant run. Shall we be trotting home again? But answer came there none. And this was scarcely odd, because they'd eaten every one. Now, a poet who was requested by more than one viewer was Spike Milligan. And this is called Fred for Nakapan. I am a mystery fellow, I'm Fred for Nakapan. I wear one sock that's yellow, the other dipped in jam. I walk about the countryside, I walk about the town, sometimes with my trousers up, and sometimes with them down. And when they were up, they were up, and when they were down, they were down, and when they were only halfway up, I was arrested. Now, this is another one by Spike Milligan. It's not at all easy to say, so wish me luck. On the Ning Nang Nong, where the cows go bong and the monkeys all say boo, there's a Nong Nang Ning where the trees go ping and the teapots jibber jabber joo. On the Nong Ning Nang, all the mice go clang and you just can't catch them when they do. So it's Ning Nang Nong, cows go bong, Nong Nang Ning, trees go ping, Nong Ning Nang, the mice go clang. What a noisy place to belong is the Ning Nang Nong. And with that, we have come to the end of season 1 of Noonday Nonsense. I hope you've enjoyed the week as much as I have. I thank you so much for your company. Now, I'm sorry if we haven't had a chance to fulfill your request. A few did come in, but I couldn't fit them all in. Perhaps they will play a part in season 2. And I'd like to thank everyone who sent in a picture. I have a backlog of pictures that I'm going to put up on the Facebook page pretty soon. But as always, we will end with a limerick. And our friend T.S. Elephant, the minor poet, will once more help us choose a random... Oh, hang on. What? Ah, really? It seems that T.S. Elephant has got a request for himself. Excellent. Well, he said he'd like to recite his favourite limerick. Oh, it's not by Edward Lear, he said. Who's it by? Oh, it's by an American writer called Conrad Aiken. All right. You go ahead. You do your limerick.
There once was a wonderful wizard who got a fierce pain in his gizzard. So he drank wind and snow at 50 below and farted a 40-day blizzard.
What? What? Oh, T.S. Elephant. I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but what can you do? He's a poet.